Load shedding is extended to Saturday. Eskom has just announced in the past 2 hours or so that load shedding will continue until Saturday at 5 in the morning. Let's get you more reaction on this from energy expert Ted Blom. Thank you very much for availing yourself, Ted. So from the reasons that were outlined this morning, does it make sense to you at least?
Certainly. Good morning to you. There seems to be a problem with the reliability of Eskom's plant. As they were announcing load shedding, which you could actually forecast if they were more transparent, they could have forecasted already on Saturday evening when they started burning excessive diesel. They left it to the last minute, and I don't know why they do that. But anyway, they can explain for themselves why they do that. But as they were announcing load shedding level 2 yesterday afternoon, Medupi 3, Unit 3 also crashed, and the load shedding then became immediate as opposed to only at 9 o'clock last night. And the old rule of thumb is if Eskom load sheds on a Monday, they don't have enough, and they've been burning the diesel since Saturday. They won't have enough diesel and water to make the week. So yes, I anticipate that the load shedding will continue until the weekend, as they've stated, and I also wouldn't be surprised if it actually accelerates to a high level of load shedding, given that they're on a precipice, and they've indicated that as at 4 o'clock this morning, they had more than 8,000 megawatts of units on the cusp of falling over.
You speak of transparency. What does it look like to you, at least, and of what consequence would it be?
Well, it seems to me that Eskom could have certainly taken us into their confidence a lot sooner on Saturday, and that might have helped some businesses reschedule their business for the week, as opposed to having everybody come to work and then sit idle while there's load shedding going on. It costs businesses an enormous amount of money, and it's resulted in more than 45 smelters in this country closing and more than 70 foundries closing because of this really lack of transparent behavior by Eskom. In fact, if most businesses knew that the load shedding would still be going on in 2022 after it started in 2008, I'm sure that many, many more businesses would have closed shop and found greener pastures elsewhere. So really, the government and Eskom, because Eskom is a government entity, a state-owned enterprise, the government hasn't played fairly with the public. And we've actually borne the brunt of not just the excessive load shedding due to incompetence and massive corruption, which is still ongoing at Eskom, but also because of the excessive tariff increases of over 700% since 2008. So really, I think the consumers are now really uptight about the situation. And I repeat what I've said previously, get off the grid, because there's more of this behavior coming. In fact, between now and 2025, it will get worse.
And that's just it. You sounded the alarm last year already that for the next 5 years we are expected to stay with load shedding. For those who cannot afford to get off of the grid or pack their bags and seek greener pastures somewhere else, what is the solution? How do we get a handle on this particular state-owned entity?
Okay, so I think the only way that something's going to happen at this entity, we've had a new CEO. He's been there for 2 years. He promised that we know load shedding after 18 months. He tried to escape that undertaking, but the fact of the matter is he's been there for more than 2 years and there's been no improvement. The grand plan of refurbishing all the plant to its proper state with OEM guarantees has come to naught, as there's a lot of other hot air promises from the leadership of Eskom. And in fact, this morning's briefing that I attended, it was held by Eskom, indicated that as far as their management practices, 2 things stood out, like a pimple on a proverbial baby's behind. The first is that Eskom's operations staff are being hamstrung by their own executive decisions regarding making available finance. It's come forward time and time again from the operational staff, and that's Philip Dukas and Jan Oberholzer, that they aren't able to plan and execute the maintenance properly because they aren't being given the finance on time to do the maintenance when the opportunity is there, and secondly when the need is great. So firstly, that's a major hiccup, and that's something new that's happened since the new leadership at Eskom was taken over. The second issue is that the refurbishment that they're doing at the moment is just cut and paste refurbishment, or as they say in Afrikaans, spoeg en plak. It sounds better. It's more gutter-like, because that's the type of behavior that Eskoms now giving us, the consumers. In that, if a unit, especially on the coal units, which they intend to decommission anyway, according to the Kash this morning, they're not doing proper maintenance and fixing up of the units. They're doing cheap, shortcut type of stuff. Because in their mind, the units are anyway going to be decommissioned within the foreseeable future. Well, and that just gives rise to more and more unreliability. I don't know how you expect it to run a country when the utility that's responsible for 90% plus of power has an attitude of doing a shortcut and cheap maintenance on the units that we are so desperately reliant on.